Before the touchdowns, before the MVP trophy, before the sold-out stadiums and the million-dollar contracts, there were fields, thousands of acres of cotton, wheat, and cantaloupe stretching across California's Central Valley, baking under a sun that showed no mercy. This is where Josh Allen was made, not on a football field, on a farm. 40 miles west of Fresno sits Firebaugh, California. Population 7,600, one traffic light, one high school, and one family whose roots run so deep into this soil that they've called it home since the Great Depression. Josh Allen's great-grandfather, a Swedish immigrant named Arvid Allen, settled here when the country was on its knees. What he built became a legacy, passed down through 4 generations of Allens who understood that the land doesn't care about your dreams, it only rewards your work. Josh was born on May 21, 1996, to Joel and Levon Allen, who ran a 3,000-acre farm that grew cotton, wheat, and cantaloupes. Life was full but simple. Joel built his kids a batting cage, a basketball hoop, a trampoline, a swimming pool, and 2 mini golf holes right on the property. The Allen farm wasn't just a place to work, it was the greatest playground in Firebaugh. Half the town's kids spent their summers there. Josh had an older brother, Jason, who was 1 year behind him but usually bigger, and they competed at everything: baseball, basketball, football, swimming. Their battles were legendary. Coaches would find them going at it in the locker room. Parents would hear about their skirmishes at practice. But it was that fire, that refusal to back down from anyone, especially each other, that would later make Josh Allen one of the most relentless competitors the NFL had ever seen. The Allen family had a mantra that Joel repeated so often, it became part of the household air: you bloom where you're planted. It wasn't just a saying, it was a way of life. Stay put, do the work. Don't wait for something better to come along. Make the place you're standing into something worth standing in. Josh absorbed that lesson long before he understood it. At Firebaugh High School, Josh Allen didn't just play football, he owned it. Standing 6'3" as a junior, with a right arm that could drive a ball through a wall, he was something coaches in that area had never quite seen before. He was 3 sports: football, basketball, baseball. But football was where the world opened up. His senior season was the stuff of small-town legend. Josh led Firebaugh to a school record 10 wins and 2 losses. He threw for over 3,000 yards. He accounted for 33 touchdowns. He was named Central Section Player of the Year. The gymnasium at Firebaugh High had been named after his grandfather. His family was royalty in that community. By every measure, Josh Allen was a star, except no one outside Firebaugh seemed to notice. Not a single FBS program offered him a scholarship, not one FCS school. The concerns from scouts were varied. His mechanics needed work, the level of competition in Firebaugh was too low, the school was too small to attract serious recruiting attention. Whatever the reason, the result was the same: silence. The only real interest came from San Diego State, who offered him a walk-on spot. No scholarship, no guaranteed roster spot, no promise of anything. Josh Allen turned it down. He wasn't sitting around waiting, either. He spent months emailing highlight tapes to hundreds of college coaches across the country. He built a list, he hit send, he waited. Most never replied. Some sent form letters. The phone never rang the way he needed it to. For a lesser person, that silence would have been the end. For Josh Allen, it was fuel. The summer before his senior year, he attended a quarterback camp at Fresno State, his hometown college, the school that had zero interest in him as a recruit. He had one goal: make them regret it. He led tiny Firebaugh through a 7-on-7 tournament, dismantling bigger programs one by one. In the stands that day was Derek Carr, Fresno State's star quarterback, who was a year away from being drafted into the NFL. Someone introduced Carr to the kid running Firebaugh's offense. "Take it easy on my old school, okay?" Carr said with a smile. Josh nodded and went out and tore apart Bakersfield Christian, Carr's alma mater, without breaking a sweat. Afterward, Carr found him on the sideline. "I thought I told you to take it easy on my guys." Josh looked at him straight. "I did take it easy." They both laughed. Carr walked away knowing he just met someone who was going to be a problem for a very long time. But even that performance didn't unlock the doors Josh needed opened. The scholarship offers still didn't come. And so Josh Allen did something that took more courage than most people realize. He accepted reality without surrendering his dream. He enrolled at Reedley College, a junior college near Fresno, and decided he would build his own path, one play at a time. Reedley College is not where you expect to find future NFL MVPs. It's a small junior college with modest facilities and no national profile. But Josh Allen didn't need a platform. He needed a football and someone to throw it to. He got to work immediately. He threw for 2,003 yards, 26 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. On the ground, he added 660 rushing yards and 7 more scores. Reedley's offense ranked among the best in California junior college football, and their quarterback was the engine driving all of it. The performance was impossible to ignore, and this time, people were paying attention. The University of Wyoming came calling. It wasn't Josh's dream school. It wasn't a powerhouse program. It sat at an elevation of over 7,000 feet in a state most people fly over. But Wyoming offered him something no one else had, a chance, a real one. Josh Allen packed his bags and drove toward the mountains. At Wyoming, Josh grew into the player the NFL would eventually covet. By his sophomore year, he was 6'5" and built like a machine, with the arm strength to make throws most quarterbacks in the country couldn't attempt. His mobility was elite. His football intelligence sharpened with every snap. The Cowboys didn't win championships, but Josh Allen won respect from coaches, from opponents, from scouts who made the drive to Laramie and left convinced they'd seen something rare. He also graduated with a degree in social science in 2017, honoring the academic standards his parents had always demanded, and quietly, he remained connected to his agricultural roots. Through the National FFA organization, Josh had once ranked in the top 4 in the entire nation for diversified crop production: cotton, cantaloupe, and wheat. The farmer hadn't left the quarterback. They were the same person. Before his senior season, Josh faced the most important decision of his young life: leave for the NFL draft early or stay one more year at Wyoming. His coach, Craig Bull, called his father directly. The message was clear: one more year would change the entire trajectory of Josh's career. Josh also called Carson Wentz, who had just been drafted 2nd overall by the Eagles, and Wentz gave him the same advice. Veterans in the NFL are counting on their quarterback to win games and protect their jobs. Make sure you're ready. Josh heard them. He stayed. He threw for 1,800 yards and 16 touchdowns in his final season. And when draft weekend arrived, nobody was questioning whether Josh Allen belonged. Draft night 2018. AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Cameras everywhere. Years of work narrowed down to one moment. The Buffalo Bills were on the clock, and with the 7th overall pick, 7th in the entire country, they selected Josh Allen, quarterback, University of Wyoming. The kid with 0 Division I offers, the kid from the junior college, the kid who emailed tapes to hundreds of coaches who never called back. He was going to the NFL. His rookie year was honest. The NFL is not college football. The speed is different. The coverages are smarter. The margins are thinner. Josh struggled at times with accuracy and decision-making. Critics questioned whether the Bills had made the right call. Some said his mechanics would never translate. Josh responded the way he always had. He went to work. Off-seasons spent in the film room, mechanical adjustments, studying the game until it slowed down enough for him to control it. By 2020, the doubters had gone quiet. Josh Allen led the Buffalo Bills to their first division title since 1995 and their first playoff victory in over 20 years. He didn't just play well, he carried a team and reignited an entire city. Buffalo, a place that had waited a generation for a reason to believe, finally had one, wearing number 17. From Firebaugh, California, year after year, Josh Allen got better. He made the Pro Bowl. He earned All-Pro honors. He led the Bills to playoff appearance after playoff appearance, 5 consecutive division titles, 2 AFC championship games. He became one of the most electric players in football, a dual-threat quarterback who could beat you with his arm or his legs, who played with the physicality of a running back and the vision of a surgeon. He was, by any honest accounting, one of the best to ever do it. In 2024, Josh Allen was named the NFL's most valuable player, the most President's Individual Award in professional football, given to the best player in the entire league. In a year where the competition was fierce and the expectations were enormous, Josh Allen was simply better than everyone else. But the trophy doesn't tell the whole story. It never does with Josh Allen. He is a fourth-generation farmer who has invested in his family's ranch, committing resources to plant 2,500 acres of pistachio trees over the next decade. The Allen Ranch isn't just a childhood memory, it's an active investment in the land his great-grandfather built from nothing. In 2025, when Josh signed a new endorsement deal with New Balance, part of the agreement specifically included funding for youth sports programs in Firebaugh. He put it in the contract. He donates to hospitals in Buffalo. He funds community programs in both the city that embraced him and the town that raised him. He shows up not as a celebrity making an appearance, but as a neighbor coming home, because to Firebaugh, that's exactly what he is. And in 2025, Firebaugh High School renamed its football field Josh Allen Field, a rare honor given to an active NFL player. The same field where a teenager with zero offers threw spirals into a Friday night sky and dreamed about something bigger. That field has his name on it now. Because that field is where it started, and Josh Allen never forgot it. There is a version of this story that never happens, where the emails go unanswered and he takes the walk-on offer and fades quietly away, where the junior college stint goes nowhere, where Wyoming is just a detour and the draft is just a dream. But that's not the story we got. We got the one where the farmer becomes the MVP, where the kid nobody wanted becomes the player everybody talks about, where a small town in California's Central Valley produces one of the greatest quarterbacks the National Football League has ever seen, where a family mantra, "You bloom where you're planted," turns out to be not just good advice, but prophecy. Josh Allen didn't just bloom where he was planted, he turned the soil into something extraordinary. And somewhere out there, on a farm in Firebaugh, the same wind that blew across those cotton fields when he was a boy is still blowing. The land hasn't changed, Josh Allen has, and somehow not at all.